Hi guys, this is AC Gamer back with another video on Brown Dust 2. Now in today's video what I'm going to be doing is talking about something important, which is who are the strongest frontline characters or tankers, whatever you want to call them, the characters that you will require to help you guys, draw out the damage or absorb all the damage from the enemy, and it helps your attackers survive. Frontline units are absolutely important when you are creating your team. There's several characters in this game that can fulfill that role, even 3-star characters. I'm not only going to be talking about 5-star characters. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Stay tuned for more content on Brown Dust 2. If you guys don't want to miss out on future content on the game, make sure that post notification is on. And if you guys enjoy this video, help me out and help your fellow members or your fellow players as well out by liking this video. It helps out with the algorithm, and other players can actually find this video so that they can go ahead and try and get some of these characters or reroll if they want to. So yeah, let's get right into it. So once again, we are back in the collection section. Now, frontline units are characters that obviously, like I said, they draw out the damage or draw out the focus of the attackers so that they can be tanking and absorbing the damage. Now, you want them to have high HP, because if they don't have high HP, they are just going to die and won't be able to fulfill the role. Now, I'm going to be talking, there's costumes and there's characters. So I'm going to just talk about characters and costumes at the same time, and I will probably reference them as just characters overall, even if they're just costumes. So I do apologize if I do fail to distinguish between costumes and characters. Now, in terms of the characters that are very good as frontline characters, you have characters like Rue. Now, she isn't the greatest, obviously, but she is actually very strong in the role because of this evade ability. Now, especially in PvP, actually, this evade ability is insane. But the only issue with the evasion or the skill she has is the fact that she can't taunt and fully utilize this skill. This is amazing if the enemy focuses attack on her, but unfortunately she doesn't have any taunting abilities to make sure that happens. But she has several skills in here, or the skills that she has are very important or very good in tanking, because if she does use the skill, it's only a free SP needed, and that is extremely low, and the cooldown time for this as well is all free turns. So essentially you're basically going to be having this evasion basically on every single time, and as you can see, evades the enemy's attack with 75% of chance for 2 turns only, though. Evade chance decreases 5% after each successful evasion, or each evasion deals 1 physical damage, which is kind of low, but she knocks back the enemy's 3 squares to the back side. The knockback damage deals 100% of the max HP to the impacted target with physical damage, and deals 15% of physical damage based off of 50% of attack every turn for 6 turns. This is actually good. The only issue I have with this skill is the fact that she can't taunt, but this is an amazing ability for a frontline character, so I absolutely love that. Now, another very good frontline character is units like Sylvia. Now, one thing that she does that's absolutely amazing is the fact that she has the highest percentage stat for decreasing incoming damage. There is several characters in this game that also have the ability to decrease incoming damage, but she has the highest at 50%, and this is for 4 turns, and she has to use 5 SP to be able to use this ability, but it isn't that expensive, especially if we compare it to some of the other frontline characters. So with this, she's able to counter the target and deal physical damage, but that's not what you really care about. When she gets attacked during the 4 turns, and she decreases incoming damage, which allows her to tank. Once again, another issue with this character skill is the inability to taunt. Now, she has this amazing skill, but if the enemies are not focused on her, are not specifically aiming at her, you won't be fully able to utilize this damage reduction. And the fact that the damage reduction is only applied to herself is also a little downgrade, but to be honest, if she applied it to everyone, she would have been absolutely busted. But she's still a very strong character, and let's not forget she is a waifu unit because she looks absolutely stunning and beautiful. So another stunning frontline character or tank character. Another one I wanted to talk about is Seer. Now, from the tier list I've seen, a lot of people say she's not that good, but we need to do more testing. Now, with all the characters I mentioned, obviously more testing will be required. I am just saying it based on the skill description, and some of them I actually have, so I'm able to test it out. So characters like Sylvia, I'm able to test out the taunt ability, the damage reduction ability she has, so I know it's good. Character like Ro, I don't have, but that evasion, I have gone against her in PvP, and it's actually very strong. Now, I don't have this character, I haven't seen her in PvP, but her skill sounds actually very good. Now, the SP required is 5, which is also as high as Sylvia, but she's able to heal HP by 44 based off of the 15% of max HP when you get attacked for 4 turns. Decreases incoming damage by 35% for 4 turns. Now, this is actually very good. It's a B-Tech version of Sylvia in terms of the taunting ability, but what she taunting in regards to the decrease in incoming damage. However, what she gains instead of that is the ability to heal, making her very tanky. Now, I feel like since we can't actually see the stats of the character, we can't necessarily say whether she's going to be the best, one of the very strong frontline character, because what you need is a high HP. So she needs to have high HP, but if her basic stat is very low, the skill won't be able to be that useful. But the ability to heal is insane, and the ability to decrease incoming damage by 35% for 4 turns as well. That is actually very long. If I take a look at Sylvia, how many turns was it? It was for 4 turns as well, and it's only focused on her, just like with the character with Seer as well. But honestly, it sounds very strong. Many people did put her very low in the tier list, but I feel like we haven't really tested her out to see it completely, but this looks to be strong. I feel like if the reason why people didn't place her higher up in the tier list is probably due to the fact her HP has probably low stats, which would definitely suck. Now, another strong frontline character is gonna be character known as, I'm gonna butcher the name, Sicilis. Now, unlike the previous characters I've mentioned, she actually has taunt, which is absolutely amazing. Now she can actually do the role properly. However, one issue is her SP requirement is high as F. Now, in PvE, you will actually not really bother with, you won't really notice how high it is in PvE. I barely notice how high it is in PvE because I'm still able to use it as long as I position characters right. However, in PvP, absolutely unusable. Honestly, you will try to use her as your meat shield. She will basically just have her HP stat, which is actually quite high, but she won't be unable to actually utilize this skill over here, which is the only downside with her. She might be good in PvE, but in PvP, I don't think she's going to be that great. And I also have her myself, and I've used her in PvP. She's just my meat shield in terms of not even able to use her skill, just standing there with the high stacks of high HP stats. So she's actually very strong though in PvE because of decreased incoming damage by 35%. However, it's only for 2 turns, but what you gain instead is the fact that enemy focuses attack on her. But another issue with her is the cooldown time is 5 turns, which is extremely long as well. So she sounds good. She has the ability to, absorb damage. She has the ability to taunt, but the cooldown is too long. The used SP is way too high. So she does have a little bit of issues with her kit, but I do see her to be very useful. So it's up to you guys to decide which one of the frontline characters I've talked about are going to be the one you want to go for. Do you want a taunt in the damage reduction character, or do you want just a pure very high damage reduction, or with this character over here? I might be leaning towards Sylvia being the better option, even though she can't taunt. That 50% is just extremely high in my opinion, and in PvE where you can actually move your characters and position them when you are ready, I feel like that is going to be a lot better. Now, is there one more character I want to talk about in terms of the characters for tanking? Oh, Helena. Now, Helena also in the tier list wasn't placed too high, but she was not bad as well. However, many people fail to realize that she has a skill that just sounds absolutely amazing. Now, what about it is amazing? Well, she gives decreased incoming damage to all your allies, literally all your allies, which is insane. And not only that, she also increases, or she gives you 4 SP when you use this skill. So she's basically a 1 SP character. To be honest, the skill basically costs 1 SP, and this in PvP, sorry, is broken. I actually think this is going to be very, very strong. And in PvE as well, I feel this is also going to be very, very strong. The cooltime is 5 turns, but don't forget, it doesn't cost you that much to use the SP. The damage reduction is there for 4 turns. It's only 20%, but I'll still take that. So I actually feel like this is actually very, very good as a character. But another issue is the fact, actually, there's not really any reason to need taunt with this character, since she gives all of your characters decrease in incoming damage. So that is actually very, very strong. Now, I've talked about the 5-star characters. Let's talk about 4-star characters that can be good for frontline. We got Andrew over here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed with this character. I don't think he's as good as all the other characters I mentioned right now. Now, this Andrew in particular, not that good for frontline, I'm not gonna lie. The other version of him, the costume, is actually a lot better, which I will talk about later on in this video. So out of all these characters here, there isn't anyone. Oh, Jaden, is it this version or is it the other version? Let me quickly check. Okay, there we go. Oh my days, this is actually okay. Now we're going to be talking about a few 3-stars and 4-star characters. However, their incoming damage reduction is quite high. However, it's highly specific, so you can't utilize them in every single content in this game. You have to switch them out and use an alternative if you're going against a magic team or a physical team. But in regards to magical defense, this character is insane. Heals, gives you heals. Now this is at level 1, I believe. Is this +1? If you get more dupes for this character, you might increase the damage reduction even more. But yeah, decrease incoming magic damage by 50% for 4 turns, and this is only for him. Yeah, like I said, with some of the other frontline characters in this game, they don't taunt, so it's very, very hard to actually fully utilize this. And magic damage, honestly, most of the characters that do magic damage actually do AoE magic damage, some of the best ones. So once again, it's not as broken as it sounds, but it's also still very, very good. 50% reduction in incoming damage that are magical, so that is actually great. And it also has the ability to heals as well, but it's only heals himself. So, and the 4 turns for this skill, SP use is only 3, cooltime 7, which is quite long, honestly quite long. I will try and take a look at Jaden to see if, okay, actually I can do that right now. There we go. Heals, okay, there we go. So right now I have him at +5. SP required is 2, cooltime has gone down to 3, heals is quite high. Magic team, okay, yeah, as you can see, if you get him duped up, he's actually very, very strong. Very, very nice character over here for magic defense. If you're going against a specific boss that has high magic damage, this character will definitely be a very, very strong character for that boss. Now, in terms of the 3-star character, there is one character in particular, and that is Carlson, and he's only a 3-star, but this is what he gives you. Now, this is use SP 3, you need to use 3, and cooltime is 7 turns, which is quite high, but you are able to decrease incoming physical damage by 35% for 2 turns. Now, just like with Jaden, it is highly specific for a particular enemy in mind, which is the characters that do physical damage, and the decrease in incoming damage is actually quite good. Now, if I go over to my character menu and we can take a look at this at +5, basically SP required is 2, cooltime is 3, decrease incoming physical damage by 65% for 4 turns. Insane ability. Another issue with him though is the fact that not given to every one of your allies, and another issue is the fact that this is highly specific. Another issue is that he does not have a taunt ability to fully absorb all this damage, so you're basically hoping that the boss you're going against or any mobs you're going against that do physical damage do not have a AoE physical damage. So Jaden, very, very strong character in my opinion. Is there any other frontline characters? Not really. So we're going to go over to the costumes because there's some in mind I think are going to be good for frontline. Now, if you take a look at Laful, this version of him looks very, very cool, and honestly might be broken. Might be broken. The reason why I say that is create an energy guard, but it says which equals to 100% of max HP. Now, if his HP stats is high, 100% of that for his energy guard, basically his shield, that is insane. 100%, basically a full character's HP. Very, very nice. Now we do need to hope that his HP stat is not low so that he can fully utilize the skill and be absolutely amazing. That takes damage for 4 turns, so the shield will be tanking for 4 turns, and is able to decrease incoming physical damage by 50% for 4 turns. Now obviously if you dupe this character up, or this costume up, sorry, but this costume is insane, honestly insane, and you can actually get it in the banners we have available. So I'm going to carry on summoning just to pull this. This sounds absolutely broken as a frontline character, so my hopes are on him. Is there anyone else? We also have Justia as well. I will be releasing a video talking about how I have every one of her costumes literally, which I'm happy about. But this costume over here could potentially be also a good frontline character, or costume, sorry. So decrease incoming damage by 35% for 2 turns. SP required is 5, so it's kind of high. Cooltime is 5 turns as well, kind of high. Consumes based off of enemies' current HP by 10%. Heals 100% of consumed HP. Now the wording of this is a little bit too complicated to realize whether this is good or bad, but because she has decreased incoming damage, and if you look at this thing over here, it's not only to herself. So this is actually good. If you position your characters correctly, you'll basically be able to give every one of your allies this decreased incoming damage, and this in PvP and PvE, this could be broken, or this could be very, very strong. I'm happy I have this costume because now I can go into PvP, give all my characters decreased incoming damage. Actually I can't, the SP requirement is way too high, but in PvE content this would be very, very good, especially if you can pair it up with other characters that do give allies decreased incoming damage. Have tanking. Oh, this other costume version of Raw can also be used as for tanking as well. Evades as well. Wait, yeah, I think that's the same one actually. No, it's a little bit different, but yeah, could potentially be as good. Now another costume that could be good for frontline is the other version of Laful. Now this one basically is 5 SP requirement, which is actually good compared to the other one, which is 7, but with that one you can actually taunt. Cooltime is 5, basically counters the targets and deals physical damage based off of 10% of max HP. 4 turns creates an energy guard which equals to 35% of max HP that takes damage for 4 turns. So this doesn't have damage reduction, which is kind of an issue. So it might not be as broken as or good as the other ones, but this is actually this could potentially be a very, very good ability. Rafia, nope. I don't think any of these other ones do any defensive skills. Okay, the 4-star. Now there's one particular 4-star costume in mind. Not Sammy. It is not you either. It is Andrews. Now this one is evade the enemy's attack with 35% chance for 2 turns. Evade chance decreases 5% after each evasion. Enemy attack focuses on you for 2 turns. Now the percentage chance for the evasion is 35%, so it's not that high. The SP required is 5, cooltime is 7, which is quite high. But the fact that this character is able to taunt is actually very, very good. And if he's able to taunt and the evasion can evasion be increased, you can't actually take a look at this in game. You know what? Let me just check. Let's go ahead and check the costume. I hope you can actually increase the evasion to make him even better. So like I said, this other version is not that good compared to his other costume one. So this is at +1 only. Okay, I can't really see how much this get buffed up later on. Oh, there you go. So evade the enemy's attack with 40% chance. So it looks like the evasion has the potential of increasing in the future as you get more dupes. Enemies will focus on you, so you have the taunt ability. So as long as RNG is on your side, you could potentially be able to tank all the damage, and this could be potentially very, very good. So yeah, very, very nice ability, and those are all of the frontline characters that I think are going to be very, very strong in this game. There's a couple that sounds absolutely busted, but we do need to test them out, so we'll stay tuned for more content on Brown Dust 2. We also need to take a look at the HP stats and the best way to build this character. So in the future, as we start focusing on the best gear, right now gears are very important, but at the same time don't focus on it because you're only able to farm N and R gears until you start getting SR and then the next one, which is EX, don't really bother about gear. So I'm about to unlock SR gear, so I will be testing out gear and building specific characters with the best gear and all that stuff, so stay tuned for that. Sorry if this video is too long, but there's just several characters that are very, very strong in this game. It's been your boy AC Gamer. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'm out.